Oh my gosh, hello guys! Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dylan, and today I'm going to be discussing my favorite manga of the decade. And just a disclaimer also that this list is going to be based on manga that is in my collection currently, and that means that a lot of the manga that I read this decade I don't have anymore, unfortunately. Very, very sad about that. I wish I did. But I will probably still mention those manga because I love them and I want to mention them and I want to talk about why I love them. So we'll just start with those. So the first manga on my list, of course, is my absolute favorite manga of all time, and that is Monster by Naoki Urasawa. I love Monster so much, and I read Monster at a time in my life where I was reading, "Hi little doggy, hi little baby, hello, you have derailed my train of thought, but I love you anyway, love you, love, love, love you." Anyway, I read Monster at a time in my life where I was reading a lot of shonen, and reading basically everything. When I first got into manga, I read everything. I read Bleach, I read Vampire Knight, I read, like, what else did I read back then? Oh my gosh. I read BL. I read stuff I was not supposed to be reading. No, 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 girl, you should not be reading Border. Girl. Girl. And at the time, I think I did read Death Note, and that was like the only like thriller manga that I read, but there was something different about Monster. There was something about it that made it, I think it was the disconnect between like reality and fiction, because in Death Note it's about, the boy finds a Death Note and the Death Note can like kill people by writing in it, and so it's got an element of supernatural, whereas Monster is just about a serial killer, and it's just about a person whose mind has been so fucked up and so like pushed to the limit to murder. And that is why I really connected with it, because it made me think about people in life, and anyone could be a serial killer. Anyone you meet out there could be crazy. And even though they are a horrible person and are doing horrible things, they're still human. And that's what I loved about Monster. Just exploring what it means to be human and what it means to have a name and to have an identity. And I freaking loved it. I loved it so much. It was such a wild ride, and it made me think about people and made me think about myself, and I just adored it. And that's why it's still probably my favorite manga, even though I don't have it anymore, and I want to reread it because I want to like fully articulate my thoughts, because I haven't read it in a long time. But it's that still stuck with me. That theme still stuck with me. So that's why I'm mentioning it on this list. Another one I don't have anymore is also by Naoki Urasawa, and that is Pluto, which is so freaking good. Again, Naoki Urasawa has a way of telling a story that is just so human and real, and he's basically, so Pluto is basically a retelling of an Astro Boy story, and it is so well done, and it talks about all of the things that are so interesting about sci-fi, with like, are robots human? Like, they look human, but are they really human? And they still have thoughts, and they still have feelings, and can robots have feelings? And it's such a philosophical like exploration of those themes that is so well done and so well crafted in 8 volumes. I adored Pluto. Again, I want to reread it. Don't own it anymore. God, well, actually, I never owned it. Exposed. I borrowed it from the library. I forgot about that. I borrowed it from the library and never bought all the volumes. I think I still have 1 and 7, and that's it. I need to buy Pluto because it's so good, and I want to reread it, and I think it's honestly something that everyone should read. Another one of my favorites, and probably my favorite, absolute favorite shoujo, is Skip Beat. I love Skip Beat so much. It is essentially about a woman named Kyoko who is in a very abusive, toxic relationship with this guy, and he ends up breaking up with her and kicking her out of his house, and she freaking hates him, hates his guts after that, and she makes it her mission to fight back and be the best number one, like, not idol, but like showbiz person, show business woman. She wants to freaking beat her ex-boyfriend in show business. And she meets this man who is his rival in show business, Ren, who is one of my favorite anime boyfriends of all time. Freaking love Ren. My god, this man. This man! Yes! It is just such a fun journey. It is such a fun ride with such fun characters. I love this manga so much. And I think everyone should read it. It is a shoujo for everybody. It is just so much fun seeing Kyoko go insane, go crazy, and fight for what she believes in. And I love that aspect. I want to do that. I want to make that part of my personal goal. I want to find a shitty boyfriend and make them pay. Just to make them pay. Another favorite manga of the decade that I read is the first manga that I ever read, and that is Kakaishi. This was the manga that got me into this whole thing. Without it, I would not read. Without it, I wouldn't be on YouTube. Honestly, I would not be on YouTube without Kakaishi. I would not be reading manga and still be so invested in manga without Kakaishi. It has such a warm place in my heart for introducing me to all of this. And I'm getting emotional again. God damn it. I need to stop crying in videos. Please, can I please just have a time to not do this on camera? But yeah, it's just a fun shonen. I like it a lot. It's what got me into it. It's so interesting too because, you know, it is a battle shonen, but it has such an interesting magic system that it's just, it's so cool and so fun. I just really like it. And also, there was one volume that totally wrecked me because one of my favorite characters passed away. And I freaking went into a depression. Oh, I would need to reread Kakaishi because that still stuck with me. Again, I haven't read that series in like 5 or 6 years. I still think about it. Like, I still think about how that character died and why that character died, and it still hurts. Now we can finally get into the manga that I still own and why I love them. The first one, I actually just read this recently, and I think it's something that everyone should totally read, and that is The Bride Was a Boy by Chi. This one right here is an autobiographical manga about a woman who is trans, and she falls in love with this guy, and they decide to get married. And it's basically, it was based on a blog that she made, and it got published into manga format. And it discusses humans and life and what it means to be trans in Japan, what it means to be gay in Japan too. It talks about that as well. And I mean, she's not gay, she's straight, but it's still, like, she talks about gay people in Japan as well. And I thought it was beautiful. And this art style is also so freaking adorable. It is so freaking cute. Like, at first, I will be honest. I will be totally honest with you. I was not sure if I would like this. I saw the cover, and I judged it. Because it looked so cutesy. It looked so weird, and not weird, but like, well, it is kind of a weird art style. It's just cutesy and chibi. And I was like, I don't know if I can read this. And it is such an honest, human story. And it's even better because it's true. It's a true story. And I feel bad for judging it. I love this. I think everyone should read it. It is so beautiful and so honest. And again, honesty is key, girl. Let us love everybody and be LGBTQ and be ourselves. Yes, queen. This is going to be a weird, dark turn, but we're going to talk about Devil's Line. This is written by Ryo Hanada. This is one of my absolute favorite vampire stories of all time. This is not Vampire Knight, girl. It is not Vampire Knight at all, which was one of the first manga I ever read. But this series is so good. It is so dark. Oh my gosh. It's about vampires trying to integrate into human society and trying to be more human. And it is so good. It is so good. Because it, again, talks about humanity. A story about supernatural beings talking about what it means to be human. I love it so much. It reminds me of Shiki in a lot of ways. If you've ever seen the anime Shiki, it reminds me of that. It's also a romance between our two main characters here as well, and their interesting relationship. It's just really cool. It's a crime drama. It's so good. I highly recommend you check this out. Definitely. Especially if you love learning about life through supernatural means, I guess, in a way, or fiction in general. That's why I read manga. I read manga because I want to read about characters and read about their lives and just be more open to everything. I just, open to different perspectives and open to life and open to just what it means to be human and what it means to be a devil and what it means to be, let your emotions get the best of you. I just love reading stuff like that. So I highly recommend reading Devil's Line. It is one of the best manga that you can read. Honestly, it's so good. Speaking of one of the best manga you can ever read, ever, girl, please, for the love of all that is Shakespearean, read Requiem of the Rose King by Aya Kano. Please read this manga. It is so good. It is a story about basically two different Shakespeare plays. You have I think it's King Richard III and Henry VI, or the Fifth? Henry VI. And it's a culmination of the two stories, and it talks about, how Richard grew up. It's the War of the Roses, and it talks about... Gosh, I can't even talk right now. I've been talking for a while. It is a political drama about this young prince and his exploration of life and living with some really messed up people. Really messed up. Which it makes sense because it is Shakespeare. I understand that. And Shakespeare is very dramatic. And this manga is very dramatic. But it is so well crafted. And the story is so well done. And girl, this cape is so fabulous. Girl. That had no relevance whatsoever. But... that happened. Yeah, it is just an excellent manga. Please go read it, especially if you want a good political drama. It is so good. And then the manga that I think absolutely everyone and their mother should read is My Brother's Husband by Gengoro Tagame. This manga. Oh boy. This manga is one of the greatest works of fiction I have ever read. Not just in manga, but I think this is something that everyone should read. Normal people should read this. I hate saying that because I don't think manga readers are unnormal, but, everyone needs to read this. This is such a human story about growing up gay in a society that doesn't want you, or just being different in general. Even if, this is about being LGBT, but just being different in general, and having people in society not understand you, misconceptions, homophobia, love, family, loss, grief. There are so many themes in this manga that make it so fantastic. I love this so much, and just it is so beautiful, and the relationships between these people are so honest and true. Look at that. Look at that. That is so beautiful. So sweet. And I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. Girl, you need to read this manga. You just do. Just everyone needs to read this. It is so beautiful. Just do it. It's so good. I didn't even tell you what it's about. It's about... I can't even right now. It's about a man whose brother recently passes away, and his brother's husband comes to visit him from Canada in order to try and, I guess, integrate himself into his life and learn more about his husband. And it is so sweet and is so good. Our main character, Yaichi, starts off as a very homophobic person, and it's about his growth and about him accepting his family. And it is so, so beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. Please read it. Probably one of my most read manga ever, girl. Like, I read this all the time, is Happy Hustle High by Rie Takada. Oh my goodness. This is such a fun manga. This is my most read manga. I have read this volume probably about 4 or 5 times. I just have so much fun reading it. Flipping through it right now makes me smile because, girl, this surfer, like, oh my god, yes, queen, yes, get it, girl. Get that ride that wave. I can't even speak anymore. I'm just smiling so hard. It is about a young girl who is very, very spunky and very, very fun, and she is a take-no-shit kind of girl. And she gets involved in the student council, and the student council is full of hot guys. Like, there is a Bishonen for everyone in this manga. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. And it's about her exploration of love and meeting these people and, becoming friends with them. And it is so, so lovely. Please read it. It's so fun. You'll have such a blast reading it. It is so, so funny. And it's one of my most reread manga of all time. So that's why it's on this list, because it's so fun. And then this one is kind of an honorable mention because... I'm going to be real with you. I haven't read all of the volumes of this series yet. And so I don't feel like I should be able to put this on the list because I haven't read all of it yet. I will be reading it soon, but I wanted to mention it because it came out last year, and it is something I think everyone should read, and that is Our Dreams at Dusk. This is written by Yuki Kamitani, and it is so wonderful. Again, just such a beautiful story about a boy who is dealing with some things, and he is dealing with depression, and at one point he wants to take his own life, and he meets this being who teaches him about life, and teaches him to want to accept himself, and and this person shows him that a group of people that are like him, a group of people who are dealing with the same stuff that he is, or similar things that he is, and it is just so beautiful. It is so good. I've only read this volume, and I've already, I can still talk about it. I can still, I still feel emotion just from reading this one volume, and that's why I want to put it on this list, because I think it is definitely worth your time. And I couldn't not mention it. I couldn't not mention it because I loved it so much. I need to read the other volumes. I understand. I just haven't yet. I'm not ready to put myself through the emotional roller coaster that I'm sure I'll be on. But I will be reading this soon, and I think everyone should read it. So do it. Just do it. And then the last manga I want to mention is one of my other absolute favorites that I read, and it is probably my favorite from this mangaka, and I recently discovered him a couple years ago, thanks to my friend Val, again. Love you, Val. Love you so much. And that is Uzumaki by Junji Ito. This manga is so good. This is my favorite work from him, and I know that's the most popular opinion, and I usually don't like having the popular opinion, but this is where we draw the line, is at Uzumaki, because it's so freaking fantastic. This is a story about a malevolent force called the Spiral that infects this town. And it is so ridiculous and so creepy and so strange. I mean, I still can't get some of the imagery out of my mind. And it's about these two, basically these two people who are trying to survive the spiral, and it is their journey through these 3 volumes, watching the spiral infect this town and completely destroy everybody. It is such a good read. This is like quintessential horror manga reading material. You need to read this, please. It is excellent, and I highly recommend it. So those were my favorite manga of the decade. Those were my absolute favorites. I don't think I forgot anything. I probably did, because I read a lot of manga in these last 10 years. And you guys know that, because I've been on YouTube for the past 10 years because of manga and anime. And that's why I wanted to make this video, really, is to thank you guys, and thank you for letting me be myself, and thank you for letting me go on this journey with you guys, because I would not be here without manga. I honestly, well, that sounds a little bit darker than I meant it to be. I would not be making this video without manga. That's still pretty dark, but it's a little true. Like, you know, I wouldn't be here. Like, man, I need to get twittering birds off of my mind, girl. I need to stop. I need to stop. I am so thankful, though, for all of the friends that I made, all of the people that I've met, all of the videos I've made, all the times I've had with these people, and all of you guys, all of my friends. I'm not going to mention names. You know who you are. Like, you guys are what make me happy. And these videos are what make me happy. And just being able to express myself and be myself and be unapologetically gay and be unapologetically flamboyant and rambunctious is so fun and so nice. So thank you for that. Please let me know what some of your favorite manga you read this decade were. What were your favorite picks? Please let me know. Please. Yes, please. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and please remember, for the love of all that is gay, stay sexy! Yes! Get it, girl! Yes, queen! 10 more years, let's do it! Oh, sorry, doggy. I'm sorry, I woke up my dog. Oh, Uzumaki hit her. Oh no, baby, I'm sorry. Oh, baby, come here. Oh, baby. Oh, you got hit by the spiral. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, baby. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. I love you. Oh, baby. Stay sexy.